The Warriors are giving up on Steph Curry, and I know that sounds dramatic or hype, but it's right in our face. So LeBron wanted to play with Steph. Not only has the man talked about playing with him for years, Rich Paul admitted it was a layered decision across the board between Philly and Golden State, and he really just decided on Philly. Why? Because they had more talent to win a championship. LeBron even said it, and he gave the Warriors time. Bron said, look, I want to play with you, but you need to go get my boy Anthony Davis. We know that because Shams reported it. LeBron would only play there if they got AD. Simple. But AD costs picks, and the Warriors are valuing future picks over Steph's career. And honestly, they've been doing that forever. This team had the goal to go in on a 2-timeline plan in the middle of Steph's prime. LeBron James would have had a heart attack. That's betrayal. 7 years ago, they picked James Wiseman number 2, then go with Jonathan Kuminga, hold on to him till he has 0 value. Congratulations. They take advantage of Steph's loyalty. But without LeBron and AD, what happens now? And this is what the front office knows. They see exactly what I'm about to show, had no intention of giving up picks. So next season, the Dubs won't have Jimmy Butler until January at least, off of an ACL tear at 37 years old. That leaves 38-year-old Steph to carry the team offensively. So who is better than Golden State next year? Let's start with the obvious tier, that is Oklahoma City and San Antonio. Then the most likely tier, the Lakers, Denver, Houston, and Minnesota, all easily better than Golden State. Then the probably tier, Portland for sure, then the Clippers and Phoenix. But then the new maybe tier. These are teams that have improved from last year to finally make a run. And in the West, that is the Utah Jazz and the Dallas Mavericks. Not only did Utah get Darren Peterson at number 2, but they are ready to unleash their veterans. Guys like Lauri Markkanen, Jaren Jackson Jr., who were all sitting last year to tank, now going for it. And the Mavs get to pair Cooper Flag with Kyrie Irving. Plus, they've got good vet role players. Dallas doesn't control their picks next year. They have no reason to sit back and lose. So the Warriors are a 12 seed next year as it stands right now. And if you knock off our maybes, then a 10 seed. But Steph cannot get injured. How are they going to score a point without Steph until Jimmy Butler returns? And the Dubs front office knows this, so they didn't want to lose that 2027 first round pick. But the problem, some experts say 27 is supposed to be as bad or worse than 2024, when the top picks were Zachary Rizachet and Alex Sarr. Yeah, not a great plan. Now, it reminds you of what happened in Dallas with Dirk Nowitzki. Mark Cuban tried like hell to get top free agents to go to Dallas after their 2011 championship, but he failed. He even got Dirk to take pay cuts. But Chris Paul went to the Clippers. Then DeAndre Jordan went to LA. Dwight Howard went to Houston, LaMarcus Aldridge, the Spurs. If you look at Golden State, yeah, same thing. They have whiffed on like every big star. Giannis, LeBron, Pascal, only guy that they got was Jimmy Butler. So for Dirk and Steph, loyal as hell on crappy teams till the very end. But in Dallas, their plan landed them a number 5 pick in 2018, which they traded up to get Luka Doncic. So in Dirk's final year, he literally passed the franchise to Luka in his record 21st season with only one team. Pretty cool, but the Warriors can't do that. There is no Luka to pass to, even if they get the number 1 pick. But what makes it 100 times worse, we all know, Steph is way better than what Dirk was at the end. Man is still a top 5 to 10 player at least. For example, last year Steph dropped over 26 points in less than 31 minutes a night. That's something only he and Giannis have done in all of NBA history. So the way the Warriors have not honored his talent is disgusting and betrayal. But maybe there's a different plan. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I will talk about that plan, but first, Draymond Green. And I don't want to spend too much time on this because he might sign somewhere else, like very soon, but it's weird that he hasn't, because Draymond declined his almost $28 million player option to make room for LeBron. But you'd think as soon as LeBron chose Philly, they would have a plan set up for Dre to sign. Why hasn't he? Well, maybe he is looking at a team that actually has a chance to compete for a title. And you might think, oh, that's disloyal to Steph. No, the Warriors were ready to ship him out last year. They put Dre's name in trade talks for the first time. All bets are off. It's obvious Jimmy Butler is their guy. Jimmy's agent Bernie Lee even leaked to ESPN, Golden State promised they would not trade him and wanted to build together moving forward. So if you're Draymond, it's like, okay, you already made your choice. They'll trade me if they get a chance. Not gonna be Jimmy, so instead, why don't I choose my NBA future, then have it dictated by the Warriors front office? It would definitely sting, but that wound already opened when Golden State tried to trade him. They broke the seal. So where could he go? There are actually a ton of teams that make sense, but what about a sign and trade to the Sixers? We know Draymond wants to play with LeBron, so a deal could be Warriors get Joel Embiid, 2028 first from the Clippers, 2033 first from the Sixers, and a swap from LA. Sixers get Draymond on a sign and trade and Kristaps Porzingis. That works money-wise if Draymond does a sign and trade at his previous salary. Then the Warriors ask for a ton of draft equity. Those are valuable picks. And Joel Embiid. Why? Because Kristaps still has value, and Joel's contract is terrible with his injury history. Why would Golden State do that? Because the alternative is losing Draymond for nothing. At least here you get draft assets and a flyer on Embiid, Jimmy, and Steph. Okay, but let's say that there is some other plan. What could that be? Well, it turns out that the Warriors' salary cap might be a clue. After next season in 27-28, they have zero guaranteed dollars on the cap sheet. It's a blank canvas, and they've got all their picks. Now, you gotta think that Steph is gonna extend, so his last year might be 28-29. The point is, they have tools to improve. For example, they could sign and trade almost any player into their cap space, or they could sign a free agent. So free agents next year include restricted guys like Amen and Asor Thompson, Brandon Miller from Charlotte, unrestricted players like Kawhi Leonard, Michael Porter Jr., and player option guys like LeBron James if things go south in Philly, Karl Anthony Towns, Kyrie Irving, and the dream scenario, Nikola Jokic, which I'm not even gonna get into. I'm not even gonna go there. That's more of a pipe dream than getting Giannis. But the point is, they've got some options. The only problem is, Steph will be then closing in on 40 years old by that time, with a gigantic missed opportunity. So would LeBron, AD, Draymond, and Porzingis have won a title? I mean, you wanna say no, but in this era of parity, who's to say they had zero chance? You don't know that. All we know is the Warriors had a chance to make Steph's final years fun as hell, but they chose to prioritize the future like they've been doing for years and years. Ever since Kevin Durant left in 2019, basically, and that is sad. But very good get in Philly. LeBron chooses the Sixers over the Warriors, according to Rich Paul. Why did he do it? Turns out this whole time, LeBron was lying about why he made his decision.